heats in the first round of the 200 metres for women, and Jane got some hot contestants here, and the first two only, and then 6 fastest to the semis.
It'll be run very fast times because of the nature of the rounds. Normally we're used to seeing 4 rounds in a 200 at a championship event, but this year we've only got 3.
Ottey and Guidry, the two here that would be most favoured. There's Merlene, the defending world champion in this event. The action will be on the inside 2 lanes, 2 and 3. Trandenkova in 4. At last, first 2 to automatically qualify. Ottey runs the bend quickly with Guidry and Trandenkova. They're the 3 favourites, particularly Ottey and Guidry. Not much between the American and the Jamaican. Trandenkova close. Ottey just shading Guidry. Trandenkova getting close to Guidry and takes her. 22.54.
And that is a surprise, Bruce. Guidry was a finalist in the 100 metres and ran very, very well. So for her to get beaten into 3rd, she'd be hoping now to get through as one of the 6th fastest 3rd or 4th place getters.
There's the result. Merlene Ottey and Trandenkova both. Start Freeman. Onyali got a great start. Mondi Milner up on Freeman early. You'd expect that. Petarevich going hard. Cathy's going to have to really go here. First 2 automatically through. She's in a pretty good spot. Has to try and run Mondi Milner down. Onyali in front. Mondi Milner, Freeman. Freeman's coming at Mondi Milner. Needs to take it to make sure she's close. 22.59 into a slight headwind, but Onyali certainly dominated the field. I think had Cathy dipped in, she would have got there, but she remained upright and has made it very, very close.
Onyali's really picked up in the last month too. She wasn't running that well in Europe in her lead-up, but I think, you know, that she's shown that she's peaked very well here, and she could be a force to be reckoned with for minor medals, perhaps in the final.
In lane number 4. Comes out fast. Knoll should be her challenger. Fines has gone out very quickly. Had a terrific 100-metre run early in the collegiate season. Moves up to Privalova. Knoll should come through from Germany, however. Then Pendareva. Privalova clear. Knoll in second. Very clear cut this heat. Privalova first. Very fast, by the way. 22.23 into minus 0.5. That is the 4th fastest time run this season, behind Torrence, Privalova and Ottey when they ran that great race in Monte Carlo. A quick one. This is the 4th heat in the 200 metres. Melinda Gainsford, 2 from the inside, 2 from the right. Is this a good or a bad draw for Melinda?
Melinda's got a great draw here. Really, I think Cathy's probably had the toughest draw of all so far. And if Melinda runs up to anywhere near what she's capable of, she'll finish in the first 2 quite easily.
And what about lane 2 for her?
Lane 2's not too bad for Mel. Obviously, she's a big girl, so one of the lanes further out would be okay. But she's run there a lot, so she's used to that type of thing.
Got a good start, Gainsford. Normally runs the bend brilliantly. Malchugina going quickly. So is Lichtenhagen. She's got past Ferguson. Gainsford in good shape on the turn, leads with Malchugina. First 2 to go through. Malchugina just shading Gainsford, but the Australian's going to get through pretty comfortably. Malchugina first, Gainsford second, 22.46.
And that was a good run from Melinda. I think she'd be pretty happy with that. I don't know whether she went as hard as she normally does in the bend, so she'll probably have a little bit in reserve.
People that you beat all season all of a sudden come out world champs and run well, so I'm just going to go every round, and that's going to be really hard to get in the city to the final, so I'll be working my butt off to get there.
And from heat 4, Malchugina 22.46 and Melinda Gainsford 22. She won the Olympics in Barcelona. Not the best away. Paschke, a 100-metre dasher in lane 6 in front of her. Georgieva on a bit. McDonald. Torrence so strong, though. She'll get Paschke if she wants to. McDonald running very well. Torrence Sails past. McDonald goes to Paschke. Torrence easing off. Make sure she wins. McDonald second. Paschke third. You got nervous in the end.
I did get nervous. I was just hoping she didn't lose that, Bruce, after my introduction.
And the result from the fifth and final heat, McDonald in front of Paschke, so the automatic ones are Torrence and McDonald. Freeman will be the third fastest non-automatic qualifier. So McDonald, Onyali, Privalova and Torrence in the middle, and then Thomas and Pendareva.
Irina Privalova, obviously one of the favourites for this event. She has a fantastic personal best. Is the world indoor 400-metre champion.
And here's Australia's Melinda Gainsford.
Melinda's going to have to run a very mature race here. Don't get too carried away with Privalova and Torrence on her inside.
Shot of the big two. Privalova and Torrence are in 4 and 5. How many big races they've run against one another now? Throw Ottey into the equation, and you've got the big mix in the 200. Privalova, European champion. Melinda Gainsford, 3 from the left. What an exciting moment for her. A great challenge here. One of the biggest races of her life. First 4 to go through to the final. Came out well, Gainsford. So did Privalova. Goes up the Torrence, Privalova. Gainsford running fast early. So's Onyali. Gainsford in the first 4. Leads them clearly into the straight. Privalova to come at her. Gainsford's got to hang on here. Torrence comes at her with Paschke and Onyali. Melinda's struggling now. Privalova's got through. So's Torrence. It's close. Gainsford may have just missed. It's very close. She's either 4th or 5th. It's a fast one for Privalova.
She's run really well there, Bruce. Boy, did she run a good first 50. Watch her come up on Torrence here so quickly. Remembering that Torrence just won the 100 metres a few days ago. Melinda's run a fantastic bend. We've come to expect that of her, though. So she has run a really good bend, and let's hope when we look at the replay that perhaps she's sneaked into 4th. Because it is only the first 4 that go through.
Had still a little margin here. Privalova and Torrence so strong at the end. I thought Gainsford hung on well here. She was in trouble. She's got Onyali and also Paschke, and she's stuck to her guns really well and might have got through. No, probably has missed. It's very close.
Well, Melinda, 1/100th of a second.
Yeah, bit of a... What can I say? I'm obviously really disappointed, but there's not much I can do. So I just got to keep on going. Okay, I'm 23 years old.
Here's the result. 2.3 behind them. Privalova, Torrence, Onyali and Paschke get through. Melinda Gainsford's missed by 1/100th of a second. In lanes 4 and 3 respectively are the favourites here. And here is Cathy Freeman.
And I dare say Cathy would be a little bit tired, but obviously I think she's been so incredibly tough to actually even back up for the 200. Different to Melinda, watch Cathy come home over the last 20 metres.
So here's the favourite for this semi-final, Merlene Ottey, the defending world champion.
And she's probably quite happy with the draw she's got here. Privalova and Torrence aren't in there, so she should be able to have a relatively easy run in this semi-final.
The American Mondi Milner in lane 1. Guidry in 7. Clean start, got a slow start, Freeman. Ottey up very fast with Knoll, Malchugina, Guidry. Freeman well back. Ottey clearly superior from Knoll, Malchugina. Freeman's going to come home hard. She's still out of the placings at the moment. Ottey leads. Malchugina, Knoll, Trandenkova. Cathy's not going to make it. 22-25. Ottey clearly superior in that semi-final.
Interestingly enough, that time was into a headwind, so the wind is a bit swirly here, the last one having an illegal tailwind, and this one with the headwind. There they are. Cathy did get a slow start, but she has had problems with her start this year. She hasn't concentrated as much on the 100 metres, so her start has suffered because of that. But have a look at the superiority that Ottey's showing. This has been relatively easy for her, and perhaps, you know, that advantage may show in the final.
Malchugina getting through along with Knoll and Trandenkova. Guidry a bit of a surprise, a real struggle. She's been an Olympic finalist, and Freeman coming through to take her. So the two Australians have run 5th in the semi-finals.
I just kind of didn't really think about, you know, getting through the final, getting a certain place or beating whoever. I was more concerned about just running the race as well as I could. It's been a tough kind of last couple of days. In terms of physically, anyway, and mentally, I suppose, but went out...
Emotionally?
Emotionally, yes. Oh, tough emotional journey. So, but, you know, I tried to work hard. I tried to get a good start. I think I'm a little bit... I don't want to make excuses, so... But I'm just glad it's over.
So the two Australians are so close, but so far away in the end. Cathy Freeman and Melinda Gainsford both missing out.
Being seasons, in fact, since her first medal at a major championships. That was bronze in Moscow in 1980. She finally struck gold in Stuttgart in 93. A few days earlier, Ottey had been robbed of the 100 metres title in a photo finish with Gail Devers. This time, despite her fade at the finish and a flying Gwen Torrence, Ottey was able to hang on.
Leads with Parekh and Torrence into the straight from Privalova. Ottey in front, Torrence coming at her. Ottey hanging on, Torrence coming at her, won't get her. Merlene at long last. Staggered over the line and won. Here's the lineup for the 200 metres final. Merlene Ottey in 4, Irina Privalova 5, Gwen Torrence in 6. There are 3 Russians in the final and 2 Germans. And we start with Trandenkova, who is arguably the rank outsider in this race. Here's the top German. He's won the championship 3 times. Silke Knoll. Malchugina just keeps on making big finals.
She does, and she always tends to come up at the right time.
The defending champion.
Merlene Ottey. This is going to be a huge pressure race. Listen to the crowd. She certainly is the sentimental favourite among track and field fans.
Privalova in sparkling form at these championships, but still looking for that gold medal at world level. Here's the Olympic champion, Gwen Torrence.
And I think she still has to be favourite for this one.
Second of the Germans and another outsider. Melanie Paschke has had a very successful world championships, but this looks beyond her. And Onyali, who's back in pretty good form, the runner-up to Cathy Freeman at the Commonwealth Championships in 1994. Torrence. Away, Privalova got a better start in this. Torrence got a great start. Ottey comes out running. Ottey's running the bend. Torrence and Ottey just lead Privalova into the straight. Torrence in front. She'll take some running down. She's home again. Look at Torrence go. This has got to be fast. Ottey, Privalova. Watch for the time. 21:77. She has dominated them into a 2.2. That is a phenomenal run.
That time is amongst the world's top 10 ever. And into that 2.2 metre headwind, that's a strong win because anything above 2 metres behind you is illegal. So she's got the 1-2 double. She's definitely the fastest woman in the world.
turn the wind around and give her about 1.5 behind, and I think Torrence would have run faster than anybody else except for Flojo.
The second fastest time in the world is only 21.64. She didn't start that well, but watch her go from 150. Privalova does not catch her at all. Ottey has run a great bend. She did the same in 93, but hung on there. Torrence has come off the bench so well. And, you know, it's going to be really interesting to see what sort of time she'll run if she does run a leg of the 4x1.
Desperately close for second. Ottey and Privalova, they're going at it. They're hitting it. Look at that. What a great shot here. They are flying.
And have a look at their different techniques too. Privalova has amazing knee lift and can carry it all the way through. But Torrence is just so strong. Running all the way through. It is such a remarkable time into that wind. And she's coming through, but watch Privalova and Ottey. They're both dipping.
But Torrence has come of age as a 30-year-old here in Gothenburg. And when we go to Atlanta next year, her star will be shining brightly.
Not only that, Bruce, but she lives in Atlanta and has lived in Atlanta, so boy, is the crowd going to be on her side. She'll be used to the weather, and she'll be ready to run and to run fast.
There's the result. Torrence, a double gold. Ottey and Privalova, second and third.
I'm very pleased. The goal was to win the 100. The 200 is just, I just can't believe it. I really thought we were going to have a very big race in the 200, which we did. But I'm happy to have the victory and to be double gold medal.
Torrence, you are disqualified. You are disqualified. Torrence, come here. Av någon anledning. Why? Why do you think?
Well, the sensation here that Gwen Torrence has been disqualified for running out of the lane between about 120 and 100 metres, and Merlene Ottey has been given the gold medal. Everybody here in Gothenburg is sympathetic towards Torrence. She's obviously the best sprinter at these World Championships. The rules are quite simple. In the 200 metres, your foot can touch the outside lane. There's no advantage there, but it can't touch the inside lane. You must run within the lane. And Torrance's foot did touch the lane on 3 or 4 occasions. Well, pandemonium broke out afterwards. We went to the press conference, and Ottey didn't gain too many friends there.
I didn't know what was going on. I saw Gwen came in all very upset, and nobody said anything to me. I just heard a whisper, and they didn't really tell me. I just overheard somebody said I got the medal, and I just couldn't breathe. That was about 10 minutes afterwards, and, you know, I didn't know why she was disqualified, and I saw it came on the TV, and I saw where she ran out of her lane, and we just cheating, and so she was disqualified.
Do you think that Gwen deserved to be disqualified, or do you think that she should have been allowed to win?
No. She cheated. She ran about 2 meters shorter than everybody else when she ran in somebody else's lane. So why should she? It's like having 2 false starts and put back in the race.
So by the time the appeals have been heard and the presentation to Ottey from Prince Albert of Monaco had been made, a lot of people had left the stadium. It wasn't quite the reception she received 2 years ago in Stuttgart, where she had that standing ovation that lasted 2, 3, maybe even 4 minutes. She's a great athlete, but it was a rather hollow victory. And I think it's the memory of Gwen Torrence and her brilliance we will remember from these World Championships, rather than Ottey's success in the 200.